All right, so we are back here again with another weekend of test server time, and we have a bunch of new stuff to test. Well, unfortunately, no new maps. However, we have a new mech that they're looking to test, and this is yet another good sign for those of us who have been fans of the Dash. We are testing the new Dash, which they're currently calling the Prototype Dash Mark III. This is considered a heavy mech, and I believe it actually has a shield on it, a physical shield instead of an Ancile shield. As you can see, 3 medium spots on it, but the other thing that we're also testing is a new weapon, and I'm going to show you all of those things right now. So this is the new Dash prototype Mark III. As you can see at level 12, it's got 180k damage, max speed of 30 miles an hour, and it lists the jump again, but it's really a dash ability. But I do believe that it goes further than the medium, although I'm not 100% sure on that because it doesn't actually give you a specific distance for the dash. But I did already play one game with it, and it feels like it is a much farther dash. Now this one, it says, as you can see, it has the dash ability. Mark III is compensating mostly for with its physical shield. So the medium, which was the Mark II, which we tested last weekend, had the same 3 medium spots, but it was only 150k or 160k max damage, whereas this one has 180k max damage and a physical shield very similar to the Lancelot. There's no real information as to how much damage this shield takes, and I did notice that it's actually a smaller shield, and it's also on the side. It's very similar to their ECU shield, where it almost looks like a mounted weapon. So I thought that was kind of interesting. The mech itself looks pretty cool. I actually really like the design of it. I think once they put a skin on it, that thing will look badass. It's got 3 medium spots, so I decided to do one with 3 Punishers. I'm going to do one with 3 Orkans. I'm going to do one with Tumulas. And I'm going to do one with Terrans. Now, the last item that we're going to be testing today is the new weapon that they're thinking about coming out with. It's a new autocannon that's going to fall in line with the new autocannon rules that they have going on. It's a heavy cannon, supposed to be heavier than the Punisher, heavier than the Malott. Does a pretty decent amount of damage per round. Each round does 24 at level 12, does 2,400 points of damage there, and it goes out to 800 meters. Takes 10 seconds to reload. And if you look at it here, it says that it also fires at an accelerated rate after 3 seconds of continuous fire, which also falls in line with the new rules that are coming out for the autocannons. The accelerated rate for this one is 1.5 times its normal speed. It has 50 rounds. So that means at 2,400 rounds, 2,400 points per round, times 50 rounds, each each weapon with a full volley, assuming 100% hit rate, is going to do 12,000, a little bit, right around 12,000 points of damage per. No, I'm sorry, it's going to do a hell of a lot more than that. It's going to do 120,000 points of damage per weapon. So what I decided to do, because we all know that this is going to be the case, this is going to be if they come out with this, this will be the new sniper bot. So what they're going to do is everybody's going to put them on their Furies, and assuming 100% hit rate at 120,000 points per weapon, you're going to have 360,000 points of damage, which will literally shred anything on the field. However, as every other autocannon, there is an accuracy to take into consideration. The farther out the target is within that max range of 800 meters, the less your accuracy rate will be. Pixonic has not given us any information as to what the accuracy rate is. And of course, they probably won't do that. So we're actually going to use that first just to kind of see how it performs. It's a good map for long range. So what we're going to do is we're going to rush this thing right up. We're not really here to try and see what we can get out of this other than just a performance issue. So, see, there's another one here. And there's another one there, too. See, it's already started. Even on the test server, people are going to try and make this the new sniper bot. It does fire very slow, though. I did notice that. I don't know if you noticed in the description of the weapon, it says that it fires 1 round every 0.7 seconds, which means it's a very slow firing rate. It's very hard to control. Yeah, it's kind of hard to predict and it's hard to control. So I noticed that a lot of the guys that are on the test server today are using those medium jumper mechs, those Ragathas or whatever the hell you call them. Let's see here. So this is the new mech that they're testing. And it's a really slow, really slow, very clumsy mech. I noticed that it has a real difficult time getting around. It's almost like piloting a Fury, in the sense that it's almost like you're piloting a Fury, but with medium spots instead of heavies and a dash ability. I don't really, not really a giant fan of it. I'd rather have the Mark II, to be honest with you. I think it's a better. But you know, I mean, it's the same thing as like with the Galahad and the Lancelot and all that shit. In the sense that I think the medium option was a little bit better. So now we're going to kind of see what it's like to use a dash ability on this. And the other thing too that I noticed is the dash ability on this thing is a 20-second reload time as opposed to the other one was like a 12-second reload time or a cooldown time. Not really. Yeah, I just, you know, this mech is very sluggish. It's very slow to responding. And honestly, I'd really rather have the medium. I'd really rather have the medium. The medium seems to be a lot more mobile. It seems to have a little bit of a better impact. The response times are a lot better. You know, the point of the dash ability is so that you can get yourself out of a real tight situation, and yet, I mean, you still can do that, but the problem is that you got a 20-second cooldown time in between, and it's just not giving you the response time that you need. Now, the cool thing about it, though, is that it does have that is that it does have that shield. Although I feel like I would prefer the... I feel like I would prefer the ECU shield or the Ancile shield a lot more than I would this physical shield. The physical shield seems to be... Like I said, it's only on that one side, so it's very... I don't know. I mean... You definitely have, like I said, you definitely have an opportunity to get yourself out of a bad situation, but, you know, at the end of the day... See, now that physical shield, because the shield is on the side like that, it's also very difficult to line it up. It's not like on the Galahad or the Lancelot or the Gareth when you can have the shield on the side or on the front. In this case, you either have to have the angle absolutely perfect or it doesn't work at all. And that doesn't really seem to... Doesn't really seem to fall in line with, you know, everything else. You know what I mean? Like, now let's see what we can do here. 3 double Punishers against this fusion. And I'm barely cutting down the guy's shield. Yeah. I mean, once you get the shield cut down, just plow right through the guy. Empty this off so I can reload. I don't know, it doesn't really seem like it's super maneuverable. It just kind of seems like a walking target in the middle of the field. Granted, it has that dash ability, but it's very similar to the Lancelot in the sense that it's just big and bulky and clumsy as shit. Yeah. Doesn't really... Yeah. Well, I guess we should do something. I mean, I'll tell you this much. It's definitely not going to be good for beacon running. I mean, this thing is ridiculous. I think it's actually slower than the Fusion is. Yeah, it's... I don't know if I would pilot a mech like this. I'll tell you this much, Gray, you definitely would not like this mech. It's clumsy as hell, slow as shit. I mean, its turn, I can almost do a complete 360 with it before it even turns. You know, with the Stalker, if I can stand still and do a complete 360 torso twist before it even makes the actual turn, like a Stalker doesn't do that. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm a giant fan of that or not. Anyway, there's the first video.